vernacular of quality time. Nothing says I love you like full, undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes your significant other feel truly special and loved. Distractions postponed, dates postponed, or the distractions, postponed dates, or the failure to listen can be especially hurtful. So I think that's also, sitting across the desk from customers. If I'm sitting there, writing as I'm listening, but I don't have eye contact, it seems very disconnected. Kids at the dinner table with their phones. I know most families are like, no, they're not at the dinner table with phones. But if they're texting, it seems very, again, disconnected. And this quality time was echoed in the few episodes back, and I said it earlier, and it impacted the way I feel and think. Yuri's kids, when they gave the eulogy about him spending time with them and making them feel like they were the top priority, was just really moving and very special. So if your love style, or your boss's love style, or your client's love style is quality time, tune into that. Now, not to be manipulative, but to understand, because we want to be known, right, and understood, appreciated, valued, and respected and included. So if that love language is quality time, then that's going to be very, very important to, how you feel you're connecting with them and how they feel you understand them. Want to add anything to that, kiddo?
Yeah, well, I don't want to go on a tangent, but it's
Same.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you. I mean, hey, it has to be funny because then but long story short, yeah, no, I actually think that texting, it's a huge issue nowadays, with texting and people being fully present. And I think there are a lot of unhappy people because 1/5 of the population is not getting their needs met because of the phones interfering with their quality time. They have an intruder in their lives, and sometimes it's best to put that phone away for an hour, even if the messages are accumulating, because they always do, and to give that quality time. So sometimes I had to turn away 6 calls and I had lunch with my son, not wanting, because I think he has that quality time as let's enjoy the lunch, and we were enjoying the lunch and eating it. And he doesn't live at home, so I don't have that much opportunity to be with him. And so, like, that quality time, like putting the phone, just turning it on silent, put in the pocket. I'm not going to answer it for an hour. And then when I left, I called them all back, to give them quality time, because and it's sometimes you can't, like, put people on hold or do 2 things. And I think, yeah, I think quality time it's being impacted by the technology.
Absolutely. And one might consider quality time a gift. And the next topic is receiving gifts. So don't miss, and Mr. Chapman, Gary Chapman, makes it a point. Don't mistake this love language for materialism. The receiver of gifts thrives on the love, thoughtfulness, and effort behind the gift. If you speak this language, the perfect gift or gesture shows that you are known, you are cared for, and you are prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring you the gift to you, rather. A missed birthday, anniversary, or a hasty, thoughtless gift would be disastrous. So would the absence of everyday gestures. And I think you can tell somebody's love language by what they give. My brother Tom, I think this is his love language, because he would, like, bring my mom flowers. He polished the doorbell surround, when I refinished the back porch last year. I like everything old, but I like it kind of like new again. So he refinished that for me. but those are, and then he gave me like he hand makes gifts, and he puts a lot of thought into it. It's personalized and customized just for you. He's a machinist, so he can make it out of anything, wood, metal. So, but the thoughtfulness behind it, you can tell he puts a lot of effort and a lot of thought into things. And I think his love style must be gift giving, because it's just, like 50 times more thought goes into one of his gifts than I do. I just buy because I think you'll like it. It's a planned, orchestrated, handmade, customized thing that he provides.
Well, that kind of like fits in. Like, I think I'm kind of gifts, but I'm not really the gift. Like, actually, it's clutter. It's a burden sometimes if it's a gift, the wrong kind of gift. I think the right kind of gift is like great. And that's usually an acts of service bundled in with the gift, because that act of service is something you need. Like, if I need to have something and they give me what I need, that's like great. Let's like, because that's what I need. It's an act of service because I need something done. And even if it's money, like my checks, well, I'm going to buy what I need with that, even though it's not an elaborate gift. Or if they just give me the thing, that is has a useful purpose. It's an act of service because that's a tool, it's a helper. Because when you're alone, you need as much help as you can get. And I think, that's kind of segues into that. It's a gift, versus just an object versus something meaning. That object has a purpose to it. Then that actually kind of is a blurred boundary between that and the next one that you're going to talk about.
That's right. And good point. And nice segue, by the way. The gift, if it's something you need, it really speaks to being known and understood. Okay. So if you know somebody and understand them, they've been sharing with you. And it might have been something you said over the Christmas holiday, like, oh gosh, I wish I had such and such. I could really use that. I've been wanting one of those for years. I just don't really know where to get it, or I don't have the expertise to buy it, blah, 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 whatever it is. 4 or 5 months later, it's your birthday, and the person, produces it, voila. And it's like, oh my gosh, you remembered, it just compounds the whole, known, understood, appreciated, valued, respected, and included. It just brings it all together. So gift giving on that level of an act of service, as you put it, is really, really cool. So the next love style is acts of service, as you know. Can vacuuming the floors really be, and I'm laughing, I'll tell you why in a minute. Let me start this over again. So, can vacuuming the floors really be an expression of love? Absolutely, says Gary. Anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on an acts of service person will speak volumes. The words he or she most want to hear, let me do that for you. Wow. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tell speakers of this language their feelings don't matter, right? So I heard you say you're alone, and I understand how that might feel on some levels. I don't necessarily not connected with you, so I don't really know how that makes you feel, but I can imagine how it makes you feel. And one of the things that I do here at the house is I do vacuum, I do the laundry, I do the deep cleaning, I do the dusting, I do the shopping. Oh, great. So I'm obviously not going to take that.
Quality time, right?
So yeah, quality time, whatever. But I guess where I was going with this is, it is funny because I think this is somehow one of my love languages, because I'm constantly trying to perform acts of service for my family and my wife. And, you know, the dinner last night, my wife texted me as she ate upstairs because I dropped her off at the airport this morning. So she wanted to pack. I barbecued some steaks, and she just was like, they're delicious. And I needed to hear that, because I really did put in an effort to make them, just right. But she'll say, I really appreciate you doing this stuff, but it doesn't matter that much to me. What matters most to me is, that you provide for the family financially, and we have a better connection and intimacy. So the words of affirmation, I believe, is my wife's love language, because I can't tell her how much I appreciate her enough, for her. And when she says, you never tell me how much you appreciate me, it's an affront to me, but I don't react, because I know, I mean, if I never did ever, she wouldn't be with me. I've known her since 1994. But the part, I guess, is it's very important to her, all the acts of service are great, on some levels she really does appreciate them, but the thing that she's starving for is words of affirmation.
Well, yeah, no, I think the acts of service is like I remember. I mean, I've done this. I hate to say it. Like I would like someone to do that for me if I was burdened, and I guess I like it done, like projects done, and acts of service. That's my, like, for sure. It's like, I know, and that's where my dad actually, even though he never gave me a compliment, he did lots of acts of service. So it kind of made up for the fact he didn't give a compliment. It's like, because my love language is acts of service. And so when, if someone helps me do a project that would take me a week to do on my own, and it took 5 hours or 2 hours, that's like, okay, you won me over. You know what I mean? And that's how I actually respond back. I go to someone's house, who I'm talking about, and there was so much laundry and so many dishes. It was like 10 loads of laundry and probably 8 loads of dishes, and it hadn't been done in a month, and it was stinking. It was gross, and I spent a day kind of doing that for that person. Because you know what, that was my way of showing love, because that's what like, if I had lived in that and someone did that for me, that would be like the best thing ever. I'm not sure if that person actually accepted that, but they were very happy because it needed to be done. But it's sort of like, yeah, and I've done this multiple,
Yeah,
times. Past
yeah.
relationships, my first husband, his house was a mess, and I cleaned it up and organized, did his taxes, organized everything through, cleaned and vacuumed, and that was my, and that, and he was like, oh, well, you want to marry me after I did that? I was like, okay. I was like, sure. I had 4 kids with him. But acts of
That's
service.
adorable. That's adorable.
Yeah. Well, and annoying, and I'm not that clean or organized either. I want it done so badly. I'll do it for someone else before I do it for myself, because that's.
I see. That's an interesting introspective, or yeah, and that's an interesting self-perspective, introspective. You value it so much, you're waiting for somebody to express it to you, and therefore the house isn't in perfect order to give them an opportunity to do that. That's really cool. You know what? That's a whole nother level, because if we, sometimes we can be antagonistic towards somebody, waiting for them to, give us what we want, which is words of affirmation. We may actually withhold from somebody time in order for them to like schedule that quality time. Yeah, wow. That's an interesting thing. Yeah. So there's some tell whatever. There's some signs that you can tell as to what the language is if you look for it, if you learn how to look for it. So hey, that's really great, Susan. That is.
Yep.